Hey Mama, Jess here with Mama Shakti Prenatal. Mama Shakti means Mama Power. I'm here to help you have an empowered pregnancy and birth. So today we're talking about membrane sweeps, and membrane sweeps can be really great and have really great benefits and outcomes for people, or they can be not so great. So let's talk about how they can be really good and then how they can maybe be not so good for your laboring day experience. So, my birth clients will come to me and say, my provider offered me a membrane sweep at my 38 or 39 week appointment. I'm not in active labor yet, but they did say that my cervix was 1.5, or 2 centimeters dilated, and that a membrane sweep could help kickstart my labor. Now, if this is something that you want to do and this aligns with your birthing values and you feel good about this decision, A-OK. I give it the thumbs up and I say, I'm here to support you all the way. However, if this is not something that you feel good about, here's why, in my own personal opinion, if this were a presentation that was given to me or a procedure that was presented to me, why I would decline it. I would choose to decline a membrane sweep at 38 or 39 weeks because if my body had not gone into spontaneous labor yet, doing interventions, medical interventions like membrane sweeps, can sometimes have not the greatest outcomes or effects for the mom in labor. So that can sometimes lead to other interventions and other things that maybe you did not want, especially if you were hoping for a lower intervention or less medicalized. I will share my own personal story about how my membranes were swept with my first baby, and hopefully that will shed some more light on the situation. With my first baby, I was 40 weeks and 4 days, and I went to my midwives at 2 centimeters dilated, thinking I was in active labor, but they said, Jess, you're not in labor yet. Go home, rest, come back later when your contractions are. And they kind of gave me a game plan. So I said, okay. On the way home, we stopped by the chiropractor. I had an adjustment because I was just in a lot of discomfort, a lot of achy pregnancy pains. And then we went home and I tried to rest. I did my best. I tried my best to rest, which just kind of meant being very uncomfortable on the couch for another about 6, 7 hours before contractions just really started picking up steam, becoming regular. And at this point, I looked at my husband and I said, it's time to drive back to the birth center. So back we went. We made the 40-minute drive back out to the birth center. And I got there and they said, you're still only at 2 centimeters. But at this point, it had been about 9 hours since I'd been there previously. And I was like, you guys, I'm in labor. I just know I am. I really don't want to drive home just to have to turn around and drive back again in maybe a couple of hours. So my midwife said, all right, your contractions are strong. They are coming closer together. They do have a pattern. So if you would like, I can strip your membranes and we can see if that will help. I talked about the risks and the benefits with my husband. We agreed that the benefits outweighed the risks for my situation, so we went ahead and agreed to this intervention. As she was stripping my membranes, she accidentally broke my water. And I have never felt such a crazy sensation before. And it was a ton of water that just kind of gently gushed out of me onto the bed, onto the pad on the bed that I was on. And it was a lot. And at that point, she said, well, now you're here for the long haul. And I said, okay, here we go. In my particular situation, I think that stripping my membranes was very helpful, or doing that membrane sweep was very helpful because it really helped even more establish the already well established contraction patterns and started to help my cervix dilate with more regularity than it had been before. So at this point, I'd been in more early labor and it had been a long early labor and I was tired. So my midwives and I and my husband, we all talked about it, and I made it a decision with the information that I had that I felt was the best for me at the time. And I'm not sure looking back if it was still the best decision, but things turned out the way that I wanted to with the birth outcome that I was hoping for, although labor was a lot longer and challenging than I would have liked it to be, the active labor portion. Every pregnancy, every birth, every person, every individual, every experience is going to be different. Even if you are the same person, your pregnancy, number one, number two, number three, they're all going to be different. Your labors are likely going to be different to some degree. So, what works for you in one situation may not work the next go around for you. And it's really important that you take the time to educate yourself on these procedures, on these interventions, no matter how mild or less invasive you think they may be, and then make the decisions for you and your birthing scenario that feel the best for you. If you want more information on what membrane sweeping looks like, I just posted an Instagram video over on my IG page at Mama Shakti Prenatal. I will link it in the comments, and you can find it in my guides section on my Instagram channel. The guides is the little thing that looks like a newspaper on my main page. All right, take care. Bye bye.